Okay, hi everyone. My name is Muyiwa Alashi. I am a software engineer and also a tutor at the Google Developer Student Club with the University of Lagos. And today we're going to be talking about how you can deploy your web application to a cloud platform. So let's get into it. So, web app deployment refers to the process of making a web application accessible and usable by users over the internet or an internet. So, basically, we have a small backend project that we worked on, just a small code application that we want to put online so other people can use. And that process is basically web app deployment. So, we're deploying that application so that people like you, other people can be able to interact with it. And the stack we're using to build our application is Python Django, and also the cloud client we're using is going to be Heroku for this project. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, when you want to deploy your application, there are a few checklists you have to go through just make sure you have like the best deployment you can get. So preparing for deployment, there are some important checks you have to make first to ensure correct and secure deployment. For our tutorial, we'll be using Heroku as our cloud platform. So the check number one is our CLI installation. Then we configure the Heroku. Then we configure our database, configure our environment. Then we deploy and then we test. So let me just show you how the backend project we have right now and how it looks like. So it's just a standard books API that allows you to get books. You add books with the post request and update the books and delete any book. So if you go back to our Thunder client here, this is just the app to get books. We have book 1, book 2. Then if you want to make book, let's say book 4, and then the response. Then we want to get all the books that we have. Then we have 3 books here. So we want to put this mini CRUD app online with our Heroku platform, and we're going to see how we do that. So first things first, we will have to get an Heroku account. It's pretty easy. We just Google Heroku and then sign up. Sign up process. I already have mine here, account, and the dashboard should look something like this. So these are some other apps that I've created before. Then Heroku unfortunately is paid, but there's a way we can get around that if you are a student with GitHub benefits. So basically, we will have to have a GitHub account and then register for GitHub education. Then you'll be able to get free Heroku credits to deploy, start up a server, get free databases and stuff like that just for a year. So you see me now, these are like the qualifications. Okay, you must have a GitHub account, you must be at least 13 years old, be enrolled in a degree, provide documentation, demonstrate. So this is pretty explanatory. There is no there's no difficulty with this. You basically just give them the information you want, and then when they verify that you're actually a student, maybe you use your student email, you'll be able to get the free Heroku credit that comes with this package. So I verified on May 26th. They just asked for the name of the school and then to verify my email address, my school email address. And then I was able to link my GitHub with my Heroku and get some free credits. So yeah. So with that, let's go back into the tutorial. So the first deployment checklist, like I said, was CLI installation. So this will make things easier for us working through the terminal. So we have to install Heroku CLI. So for Harmony Mac, so the command to install it will be just brew install Heroku. But for Windows, you would have to download the Windows installer from Heroku, visit the Heroku CLI download page, then download the 64-bit installer and then run it. Then you can verify that you have Heroku with Heroku version. Let's see if we can do that. Let's just close this Heroku version. It never loads. Yeah. So I have Heroku 8.11.5 down. So that verifies that I have Heroku. And okay, the next on the list will be the cloud client configuration. So we want to configure Heroku to our project. So first we need to install these packages with pip. Unicorn, it's a server that keeps your server running, basically, where you don't have to refresh or reload the server whenever you make changes to it. Then Cycle Binary, this is a database client. For database, we're going to be using Postgres, and this allows your Django application to talk with Postgres seamlessly. Then Django Heroku is basically a package that allows Django to talk to Heroku. So let's see if we can install that. So it's going to be pip install SDL. Then first one is Unicorn. Then the second one is what? Don't want to get spelling wrong. PSYCOPPG2. Cycle 2. Then we have COP. Just spell. Then we have Django Heroku. Okay, cycle 2 binary. Yeah. Okay, so I already have it installed. So we'll just go from there. Then we need to log in our Heroku from the terminal. Since we already installed the CLI, it should be easy. All we have to do is just do Heroku login. Then normally this should take us to an open browser. Authenticate. Let's see. We want to use this browser. So yeah. Let's use this. Then if nothing goes wrong, it should just log in. Then already logged in. That's the email. Then next on the list would be to make a proc file. So a proc file is basically a file that has the server configurations pertaining to your project for Heroku. So it's like a small engine that just tells Heroku, oh, this is how you want your server to run from your Django project. So we can just use the terminal to UCH touch. Make sure the P's in capital letters. I actually made that mistake while prepping for this. Gave me a lot of issues. PROC, and also just make sure to spell check, because if you get it wrong, Heroku can't find it. So touch that, then you should be able to see the profile. Okay, let's move this away. You should be able to see the profile here. So yeah, so what are we doing with this profile? Yeah, okay. Then we have to add a requirement.txt file. So the requirement.txt file, you can either just make it like I did, touch requirement.txt file, but we are making it so we can put the packages that we installed that will allow our project to work. So you can actually put it there. So the easier way to make the requirement.txt file is to use this command, pip freeze, and then the arrow, requirements.txt. Always very nice to like spell check. Let's hope I got that right. Yeah. Requirement.txt. So this basically moves all the packages that you've installed pertaining to your Django project to the requirement.txt file. So if we can go here, you should be able to see things we've installed like Cycle Binary and Unicorn there. So now I want to add this web.unicorn.myproject, the wsgi.log file, to your proc file. Basically what this does is to tell Heroku to use Unicorn. Like I said, this is a server, to use Unicorn to navigate your WSGI file in your Django project. So your proc file, you have this web.unicorn.core. Core is the name of my project, name of this project here, and then WSGI file is the file it points to, which is this, which is where Django basically sets all its server configuration module. As you can see, the application, WSGI application, just be able to run the project on the server and the cloud platform wants to run. And then this log file is the Heroku configuration that it needs, may or not need. Then next would be import Django Heroku. So we already installed it. Now we want to import it and add the settings to the settings of py file at the end of file. So in our settings of py file, which will do most of our configurations, we first want to import Django Heroku, and then at the end of it we want to add, what are we adding? Sorry, Django Heroku.settings parentheses locals, Django Heroku.settings local. Okay, just remove this and just check locals. Okay, locals. Yeah. So moving on, we have, now it's finally time to create our Heroku app. So if we go back to here where I showed you my personal app, each app on this Heroku dashboard represents a particular project. So we want to create our own app where we have all our configurations to run it. So here we would have to we have to think of a name we want to use. It's just a simple books crawl app, doesn't really do much, just for the purpose of this tutorial. So if I think of a name, let's just name it Django crawl app. So Youku create, then DG CRUD, okay, Django books CRUD app. You also hope you can use underscore. Okay, looks like it's created. Name will start with the letter into digits content. Okay, so we can't use underscore, we have to use hyphens. Suspected. I missed an A there. I missed an A. Okay, it's fine. We move on like that. So instead of Django books called app, it's Django called PP. Project will be fine. Then this is a configuration specific to Django. Set disable collect statics. Collect static equals to 1. So basically for your static files, since it's going to be like a backend project which is just like the APIs, we might not need to collect statics. Besides that, since there's probably going to be another app for the front end, maybe that will be written in like React or another front end framework or library. And then so what this does basically just disable that, so either to make the app run efficient, and also to just remove that problem of collecting static from our side. So we have Youku config, then it is set. Let me just check. Okay, set, then disable and collect static equals to 1. Very nice to spell check, confirm, so you don't have any problems. I should just set that, restart, and yeah, okay. So let me just clear this so we can see more. Then that should be it for our cloud clients configuration. Then we move on to our database configuration. So like I mentioned before, we're using Postgres. So Django normally comes with its own default database called SQLite, just a document-based database. It just helps for like development purposes since it's already there. But like in production, you want to use a production level database. You want to use a structured database. Well, depending on your the project requirements. But since it's a normal code app and we would love to have some structure, we'll go with Postgres, which is also like one of the easiest and the best, if you ask me, database, structured database, better than MySQL. So moving on, database settings. Ensure your database settings are correctly configured for production. As I mentioned, you'd have to first secure it. Like it can't just be any normal user credentials and password and things like that, because you'd have a password, a user, a host. It has to be correctly configured for production. It has to be standard level. You have to hide the secrets, and you have to use, basically, if you can hash it, or if you can make sure they're like just coded so no one can easily hack into your database. Then migrations, you have to run migrations to apply any database schema changes. Yeah. So to configure our database, we first need to install Cyclob2, Cyclobinary, and database DJ database URL. So we've installed Cyclobinary, and Cyclob2 has already been installed. So let's install DJ database URL. That is just a package to be able to get our URL, our database URL from Heroku, because we'll be setting up our database on Heroku. You can use another database client and then attach it to Heroku, but Heroku already has a Postgres database that we can use, which is pretty standard. And then to be able to find the database URL, Heroku handles most of the security. So we send that database URL so that we can actually connect our project to the database. This package helps us to do that. DJ database URL. So yeah, let's install it. So pip install DJ database URL. And yeah, so I already have that. On yours, if you don't have, it should take a while, just a few seconds, and then install. And if you're installing for the first time without having it before, you should run keep fridge requirement.txt so you can actually still move the package I just installed into your requirement.txt file. Then I'm moving on number 2, Heroku add-ons create Heroku Postgres SQL. So this is how you actually create your database on Heroku. You can do it, you can either use the CLI or you can go to the go to the Heroku website, you click on your app and then add the Heroku Postgres manually. But it's better and more technical if you just do it from the terminal. So you just go Heroku add-ons, create Postgres SQL. So you go the Heroku add-ons, create Heroku Postgres SQL. So like I said, always nice to spell check and see if you are missing anything. So we're missing a colon and a dash. Okay, just a colon. Heroku add-ons, then colon. Let's just verify that. Okay, create the space and see. It should take like a few seconds, close to a minute. Let's see. So it's being created in the background. You have to restart when it completes. So use Heroku info dot the Postgres name to check the creation progress, and then the add-ons to view documentation. So basically, it's creating in the background. Like I said, it's going to take like a minute or so to create, and from there we'll see if it actually works. We'll check back in like just a minute. Then while that's creating, let's continue the configuration. Number 3, import database, DJ database or URL, then edit the database settings. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm still in the settings.py file, like I said. So we have to import DJ underscore database underscore URL. So like I said, this is the default database that comes with Django. It is SQLite. So here, what we want to do is kind of different. We want to be able to use this database still, because this is where we have like our books. If you still remember, comment, I can just find it. Yeah, this is localhost, and this database items are on our SQLite database. So we want to be able to basically still be able to use this while we're on localhost, and while we're in production, be able to use that Postgres database that we did. So this will lead us to have like an if condition. So if we're in production, basically use this database. If we're at local, then we use this database. So now the program, how will we know if we're in like production or if we are in local? So we'll come back to that. First, let's just set up the databases, and then we go, and it's just going to be this. And just check this out. It's just going to be dj database URL dot config. Move this and that. So for now, that should be good enough to like use the production level database. We're still going to come back into setting that if condition, but I want us to like continue the configuration. Then you'll be able to see how we'll do that shortly. So if we go back to the edit database settings, then we'll verify database with Youku add-ons. So let's just check if the database has been correctly installed. So if you just go Youku add-ons, you can see our database has been created along with the price and max price. So here, this is what we created, Postgres this, and you can see it here coagulated. Yes, and you can see it here, Postgres coagulated. So it has been added. Just click that. It's been added, then we're done with our database configuration. I mean, for now, was it. Then we have environment configuration. So this is just basically to hide our secrets. Like I said, by moving into production, we're having a production like environment. We will not want to expose some secrets out there, like the names, API keys, as if we have any. For this project, we don't. Things like our secret key, Django has like a secret key. We will not want to expose that, so we will see how we'll handle that. Then, okay, environment variables, ensure that all necessary environment variables are set correctly, including secret key, database credentials, and API key. Then you have debug mode, ensure that debug is set to false in production. That's another thing we need to check. So this debug is equals to true. It's basically whenever we have an error in Django, it will allow us to see where the error is coming from and help us like fix it, give us like some pointers, give us like some warnings, things like that. But like in production, you not want your user to see that. You just want to just throw like 500 or 400 or like something is wrong, come back later, fix it. You don't want the user to see everything like what's wrong with the whole project. So when it's time to go to production, we'll set it to false. So it's just going to just show the error code instead of the details of the error. So if we move back and see, first of all, we have to install this Python decouple. It's a package that is just going to allow us to be able to store our secrets into a particular file and be able to retrieve it from there. I will also say upload this file, but we'll also specify the secrets of this file to Youku. I will say I will do that later. So first of all, we want to install it. It's called Python decouple. So okay, install Python Youku. So like I said, it's always very nice to spell check. Okay, then I already have it. If you don't forget to move it to your requirement.txt file. So when you are pushing your code to Heroku, you'll be able to know all the packages it needs to be able to run your application. Then you have to make a .env file. .env file is basically a hidden file that contains all your secrets. Make sure you do not push this file to any of your GitHub, Git bucket, Git storage, nothing like that. Do not push it. Something to be hidden, something to be transferred secretly. If you want to give one of your co-workers, let's say you're working in a team, something you send secretly, not through the GitHub, unless it's private. Even then, I won't actually recommend it. So we'll make a .env file, TUTORS2023, and then from there we'll be able to put in some secrets. But first we'll have to do, from decouple import config, this will be in our settings.py file. Import config. Okay, and then add all the secrets in the .env file and replace with debug equals to config secrets. So we'll add this is our secret key. That's the word secret in it, so it's supposed to be hidden. So let's use this one as an example. Then first we have to get the secret key itself, move it into our, just move this here, move it into our .env file, and it has to be the same secret key, then that. So the codes are not needed for the .env file, and then here in the settings.py it's going to be config bracket of secret key. So config is going to access the .env file in your project and try to get this particular variable that you set. So just make sure it's the same secret key, and with that you successfully hidden your secret key. And also this debug, you would want to hide that too. Config and debug, get rid of this and that, and then debug your env file should be equals to false. If you are going to production, it has to be false. Then also your allowed host. This is basically like a list of IP addresses, URLs that you want to be able to access your project while in production. Right now, for the purpose of this, and since we've not uploaded our code, I've not gotten a URL from Heroku yet. We'll make this star, which basically means you want to allow everybody to be able to access this. This is not recommended for production, but for the purpose of this tutorial, we'll leave this as star for now. Then we move on to the final configuration, which is this database. Like I said, we need an if statement to be able to handle our situation where we want to work locally and work in production. So if I just uncomment this out and then show this one here, so we'll edit the database to look like this. Database is equals to the local database if debug else stats. So if debug is equals to true, use this. But if debug is equals to false, which is what we have there, which is in our production, then we can use this database config or default.config for this. But there's no way it's going to get the debug yet, so we just need to just move this here and debug. So it's going to get this in the env file. If that is equals to true, we should use this. But if it equals to false, we should use this. I guess we'll have to set this to true. Yeah, we'll have to set this to true. Since the env file is not the one going into the production, you see what I'm saying in a second. We are actually setting these keywords to Youku manually. We're not uploading the file. We never upload the env file. The env file is for you to know your secrets and to be able to just share it securely, but we're never uploading the env file. So this database is going to be if the config.debug, which is if it is true, which is there, it is true, we use this. Then if it is false, it's going to be false when we upload it, because this config will access the secrets, which is .env file of production. Youku has one .env file. You see that in a second, and then you should use this instead. Database.url. We don't have a database.url yet, so this is just going to just take this. This should be enough to do this. So yeah, then this just takes care of our database. If we can go back, also add to Youku with Youku.config.set. So now we want to add our secret key and our debug value to Youku. So Youku config then set. So now we want to add if we go back to the .env file, like I said, we're adding it manually. Copy this and go here. Okay. So setting a secret key, done, and then want to add the debug value, debug goes to false this time. Debug, always nice to spell check. Okay. Debug equals to false. So yeah. Okay, then that is set. Then what's next? Deployment. Okay, are gradually reaching the end. Hopefully. Well, sometimes like this, deployments don't actually go like smoothly. I don't want to hope for something to go wrong, but if it does, we'll be able to see how we can handle errors that happen frequently, like very frequently, when deploying your project to production. If it goes smoothly, it's fine. But if it doesn't, it might be even better, so we can have something to work with and actually see how we can handle these errors. So deployment, um, Heroku basically works with like a Git based platform. So initializing our Git, we are adding the project, then committing. We are pushing to Heroku. So we're just pushing to like GitHub or Bitbucket or whatever we're used to. I'll just pushing to Heroku. Then we'll migrate the database that we've already created and be able to use that database. So while pushing to Git, of course, there are some things we should also do. We should never push. Like if you're a front end developer, you don't push your node modules. If you're also a back end developer, you don't push your secrets that you don't want to push, and also the virtual environment. So we have to create our Git log file. I've created that while I was doing the project. So we have a Git log file, and this just basically has my env, which is my virtual environment, slash env, which is just like a checker, and then my env file. Like I said, we never push that. As you can see there, it is grayed out. Just open, you can see that. And then you would not want to push your db SQLite3, which is your database, your local database. So now let's move. So we've configured the database, we've configured the client, we've configured our project to fit the client, and then we've made the proc file and the requirement.txt file. So now it's actually time to deploy it. So like I said, we set up our Git init. We already have that. Then Git add, then Git commit, initial commit. Then we have Git push Youku master. Always nice to spell check. That looks good, and this should take a few seconds, like a minute. So if something goes wrong, we should see it from here, and even if it goes well, and it gives us like a URL to play with. Okay, I think it went well. It gave us like a URL we can use, and then we push to that. We open this URL. Sometimes it works fine. If it works fine, it's supposed to give us the home page that we saw with a list of URLs. If not, it's say application error. So let's see if we do it correctly. Just pushing it here. Okay. Oh, it worked. I guess it went well. I was really hoping to see some. I should not be open for errors, but we're hoping to see some errors so that we can fix it. But okay, it went well. We should be happy. So we need to run Youku-Muyiwa Python PY migrate to be able to perform some operations. Youku run Python migrate. while that's running, let's check what we're doing next. Then it's just tests. It's actually just test if okay, our deployment is working. So there can be some natural internal errors there. See, maybe we didn't migrate it well, or maybe we missed something. So yeah, so this is our application, and if you go back to our client, which is this, let's just change this URL here to here. Move that extra slash. So let's post some groups. How do I clear this? Okay, just move this here. Let's post some books. See, okay, post work, post for work. Let's get all the books that we have there. Okay, 1, 2, no problem. Yeah, we also have, okay, what other operations do we have? Update and delete book. So if we just want to delete one, ID1, then the slash there, I want to delete. Okay, cool. And then the last one, let's go with patch. Let's just look for updated, and we deleted one, so the other ID was 3. Let's see. Okay, look for updated. Let's see if it's actually updated and just like get everything. Oh, okay. So yeah, all our CRUD method works. We're able to get our post, delete and update. So yeah, let's see what's next. Open the app, make sure it loads, run all operations through web client and confirm the response. We've been able to do that, and then I guess that brings us to the end of this tutorial. If your deployment wasn't as smooth as mine, you can contact me at Alashi. Contact any one of the GDSC tutors, and we'll be sure to help out. Most deployments don't actually go as smooth as this. There's always some hiccups here or there. That's why I was trying to spell check every single time, and then make sure we actually have like the right things to do. And Heroku is a pretty easy cloud client, easy to use cloud client, and has a lot of communities. But if you can't find anything online and you need personal help, or you need extra explanation, feel free to reach out to any of the GDSC tutors, and we will be able to get back to you and help you. So with that, I still remain Alashi, Youku-Muyiwa, and bid you farewell. Bye.